AssetOptics for Salesforce Field Service is an extension package built on top of Salesforce Field Service. The package provides field service users best-of-breed MRO inventory management and purchasing capabilities found in the AssetOptics OEM native Force.com maintenance management solution. This extension package excludes redundant objects found in the OEM AssetOptics package in favor of the standard objects found in Service Cloud and objects enabled with a Salesforce Field Service permission set license. Nouns, modifiers and attributes enable a user to create through data records in lieu of custom fields, attribute definitions and values that can be tracked on assets. Attribute values can be edited from the related list or directly in the Lightning Web component displayed on the asset record page. Changes to the attributes in the noun modifier setup are propagated to each corresponding asset attribute. Cost accounting features are provided to track all general ledger transactions associated with the procurement, storage, and consumption of spare parts and supplies. An asset can have a designated expense type general ledger account specified, as well as up to 4 GL variables. This structure is consistent with native Force.com accounting solutions such as Financial Force and Accounting Seat. AssetOptics for Salesforce Field Service lets you manage both bulk stock and serialized product item inventory. When a serialized product item is received on a purchase order and thus added as quantity on hand, a serial number is entered for each specific unit. An asset record is automatically created and placed into the receiving inventory bin location. If the related product has a noun modifier assigned, then the asset will inherit the noun modifier values and any product attributes and attribute values will be copied to the asset attributes. When a product item is consumed to a work order with an asset, a record of all unique products ever consumed against the asset is recorded. Nouns, modifiers and attributes can also be applied to products. Additionally, these values are used to automatically generate an extended attribute description which facilitates searching and identification of product records. The quantity on hand for a product is the sum of the quantity on hand for all the related product items. Similarly, the unit value for a product is automatically calculated using the weighted average unit value for all product items. The product unit value is used to calculate planned product costs on work types, work orders, and work order line items. Planned product cost can be compared to actual product cost after products items are consumed on work orders and work order lines. Within an inventory location, such as a warehouse or service vehicle, product items are typically stored in bins. AssetOptics for Salesforce Field Service allows you to create multiple bin locations comprising rows, sections, and shelves. Quantity on hand can be managed within a specific bin location, and transferring product items between bins is a simple task. The product item object has been extended to include quantity reserved and quantity available. When a product request is created and the inventory location specified, a reservation is recorded to the corresponding product item. The reservation is time sensitive and based on the need by date specified on the product request minus the lead time on the product item. The quantity available is the quantity on hand minus the quantity reserved. When product item inventory falls below desired levels, AssetOptics for Salesforce Field Service automatically calculates a quantity to reorder. This calculation is based on quantity available, a user-specified minimum stocking quantity, and the number, if any, already on order. The economic order quantity represents the minimum suggested quantity to reorder. You can also specify a preferred vendor and preferred case pack. Vendor case packs represent the different packaging configurations in which product items are typically sold, such as individually, boxes of 6, cases of 100, and so on. There's even an auto-replenish option, which automatically generates purchase requisitions for you when inventory is low. In addition to purchasing, product items can also be replenished via internal transfer orders. Instead of specifying a vendor and case pack to buy, you instead choose the source location, for instance the main warehouse, and the source product item. We'll demonstrate a transfer order later. From a product item record, users can also invoke the new inventory transaction action to adjust quantity on hand. Users can perform gain or shrink adjustments, such as during a cycle count or physical inventory. They can also directly issue a product item to a work order. In each case, a bin location and quantity is specified. From a work order with products required, a user can create a product request by invoking the request products required action. The user will be prompted to enter a need by date and select a location from where the product request will be fulfilled. A list of product items in the location corresponding to the products required will be presented to the user. A product request with product request line items will be created. If any of the products required are not inventoried at the selected location, the user will be presented with a list of these products so that they may create an additional product request from an alternative location. As mentioned before, the product request line items will place a reservation on the product item in the selected location based on the need by date and the product item lead time. The product request is the singular document that serves to place demand on inventory and thus drive the rest of the inventory replenishment processes. Users can issue product item inventory directly from the product request line item record page by invoking the issue inventory action. Users can also cancel product request line items by clicking the Cancel Lines button on the product request. Once canceled, any inventory reservation will be released. Users can add products required to a work type. Each product required line will have a planned product cost based on the quantity required and the product unit cost. The planned product costs are summed at the work type to provide a planned product cost. Reviewing a work order, we can see how many of the features demonstrated thus far come together. You can track planned product costs versus actual product costs. Issue product items directly from a work order. Create product requests based on products required. Manage work order-specific general ledger expense accounts and sub-ledger account codes. AssetOptics for Salesforce Field Service includes robust procurement capabilities to ensure you always have sufficient product item inventory on hand. The purchase order object has record types for both orders and requisitions. Requisitions are typically converted to orders by an approval process. Additionally, there are two record types for purchase order lines: stock and service. Purchase order stock lines correspond to product items you wish to replenish. PO stock lines are ordered and received in the purchase unit of measure. The transaction quantities and unit costs are automatically converted to the stocking unit of measure. PO service lines, in contrast, represent non-inventory purchases and are considered consumed upon receipt. These lines may reflect one-time purchases, outside labor, or other miscellaneous costs. As mentioned before, a product item can have many vendor case packs, each of which define the vendor, vendor part number, purchase unit of measure, purchase pack quantity, and purchase price. When purchase requisitions are automatically created as part of the inventory replenishment process, the specified primary vendor case pack is used to create the stock PO lines. When auto-replenish is enabled on a product item, purchase requisitions are automatically created via a scheduled batch Apex job when the product item falls below its minimum stocking quantity. Purchase requisitions can also be manually created from a product item list view by selecting the products to purchase and clicking the Generate PR button. A purchase requisition will be created for each location and vendor permutation. Inventory locations can also be replenished via transfers. When the primary replenishment method on a product item is specified as transfer, an action labeled Assign Transfer Source Product Item is conditionally visible on the record page. This assists the user in identifying candidate source locations and source product items. Transfer orders are created similarly to purchase orders, either manually from the product item list view, or automatically via a scheduled batch Apex job. There are two types of transfer orders: transfer in and transfer out. When the receiving location releases a transfer in order, a corresponding transfer out order is created for the source location. Inventory transactions are performed on the order lines to reflect shipment and receipt of the product items, and all transactions are performed in the product item quantity unit of measure.